Welcome back to another episode of Forbidden Depths. I'm your host, Queen Frostbitten, and we're here today to get down, dirty, and sultry by staying open, educated, consensual, and safe. If you're returning, welcome back to another episode. Thanks for supporting the channel and its growth. If, of course, you're new here, make sure you follow, like, and subscribe, because one taste will never be enough.
So, welcome back to another episode of Forbidden Depths. Today we have this gorgeous creature. I'm going to let them go ahead and introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Vixen.
Amazing. That's what she meant. So, first of all, anybody that does not follow Violet over on Twitter, make sure you go follow. Okay, awesome page, awesome content. I know I've been following for a while. And it is at Violet Vixen XXX. That's VIOLET VIXEN XXX. Now, I'm curious where your name came
from. So like in the beginning, I was like, I really like the name Violet. You know, I was like, maybe I'll name one of my kids that. But but now I'm like, actually, I want to use that name for myself. So. And yeah, I've always been like, I just thought it was a hot name. I don't know. I thought it went with Vixen. Which in the beginning, I was just Princess Violet. I didn't even like add like the Vixen part yet until like later on. But yeah.
Nice. Now I've noticed that there's a lot of femdom type created content, but you also have I guess more XXX stuff in there too, so it's like a nice balance. So did you originally start out as like more pro dom creator and then move to, tell me how that happened?
I felt like I was more submissive
okay
in the beginning because like I just felt like I didn't like know how to be a dom. Okay. And then I felt, and then I realized, you know, I could be a dom. I don't know. Like I never saw myself as one until like I got older, and then I got my first submissive, and I was like, actually, this is really fun. So then I started. So then I started kind of like that. I like just getting like one random submissive, and it wasn't even just like a money thing, but then he sent me money anyway, and I was like, wow, so this is kind of easy. This is something I can do. So
just exists.
Yeah, this exists and be hot to be paid.
Yes. So that's what I was gonna say. Like, I love your natural body type. I know a lot of people kind of feel pressure to have more like the plastic ideal like mainstream bodies. I myself, I don't have anything against them. I don't body shame at all. I think people should be able to do whatever the fuck they want, whenever the fuck they want, as long as they're not hurting somebody else. I don't give a fuck. But I feel like a lot of people, especially whenever they get in the industry for a while, they kind of feel pressure.
They do. Not me, like I kind of just want to be myself. Like there's even people that hate on me for having short hair, but I'm like, I love myself, you know, I'm not gonna change for anybody, you know, because it's like I gained my following already from being myself.
You know, why would you rebrand and change? You know, that's kind of what I have seen so happen so much. Whenever people kind of rebrand, they lose a lot of their previous consistent following because they change something. I'm gonna tell you, sometimes it seems pretty ridiculous that people do that too, though. But like, if you're there for a product and you don't get the product anymore, it's kind of understandable. Like, I remember one individual had on the show, she was talking about how whenever she shaved her pubic hair, she lost like a large amount of following because there was a lot of people. Like, it seems crazy. I mean, I understand that some of them are there for specifically that, but it seems like that grows back.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like you already have content with like your bush. So it's like, but that's also a reason why I kept my bush, because I didn't realize, because it's like when you're younger, you think men are into hair, but then you get older and you're actually like, wow, they're really into hair, you know?
Yeah.
So that was a really nice surprise. Yeah.
And I think that's an age thing too. It seems like a lot of the younger, like whenever I'm talking to younger submissives, they're all about, oh, well, I like everything completely shaved. And then those people that are kind of like older, they're like, nah, like I need to know you're a woman.
Yeah.
But now there are some younger people that I've seen. I can say that I took on a submissive about a year ago, and he was all, I love the bigger, the better with a bush. And I'm like, well, I don't keep a large bush. So if that's the only thing you're going to be here for, you might want to find someone else. Like I do have hair now and again, and then I'll let it get longer, especially like if I have like a landing strip or like a triangle, I'm going to let that get a little longer. But I'm not one to like keep consistent bush all throughout. So I'm like, that's all you're here for. You might need someone else.
Yeah, honestly, like the bush thing is like newer for me. Like I didn't start really growing my bush out until like a year and a half ago or something.
So was that a choice that you made, or did you like make content for someone?
I think like, well, I think it was also just easier.
Okay.
Like you only have to like shave like, because like I still shave, but I only shave like underneath. I don't shave like the bush part. But I just thought it was easier, and I was like, I think it looks better. Like, because like, I don't know, if I get like slight razor burn or something, like you can't see it at all.
Yes. You know? And I found the top portion, like right over the pelvic region, gets so much worse. Does yours do that?
Yes. Yes.
Like it doesn't seem like my labia and stuff get like a lot of razor burn, but like up the top where my pelvic region is, it's really bad. My skin's really sensitive though. I don't know if that's normal. I got like super sensitive skin. Like some people can shave every single day and not have razor burn. I'm like, my skin doesn't do that.
I know, same. Like I can't shave every single day, or I'll have razor burn.
Yeah, same. And then, well, I went through a period where I did shave every single day, and I'm gonna tell you, right whenever I like started to let my hair kind of grow back just a little to give my skin a break, I started getting like ingrown hairs, and then I would break out more. It was terrible.
Yeah, me too. And I'm like, that doesn't make me want to make content.
Yeah. So yeah. And well, whenever I look at something like that, it's just that it's, I guess, not mainstream enough. Like people don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, that's not supposed to look like that. Oh, well, actually it is. That's what normal skin looks like. But it also makes me feel like, I guess, unkempt. Like I feel like I'm not properly caring for myself, even though I know I am, because it makes me feel gross. You know what I mean?
I think that's just like a societal thing. Because like I feel the same way. Like I gotta shave my legs, and then sometimes my armpits, even though I want to be one of those girls that like has like the bushy armpits, but like like I can't. I like the feeling.
I can say that if I used to be very terrible about it, I had to shave everything. Like except my hair, obviously. I didn't shave this mess.
Yeah.
But like everything else on my body, I had to shave. I was super weird about hair. And then I remember I did some content, somebody liked hairy armpits. And like the first time I did it, it was so hard for me. Like mentally, it was so hard. I was like, I'm not gonna be shaving my armpits for a week. I felt so gross. And then by like, I think it was the 4th or 5th, I was like, man, this ain't even that bad.
Yeah.
Like I was making a big deal out of long hair. It's not even that bad. So, I think the majority of that comes the shame that they expect people to have for hairy armpits. If you're feminine, if you're female. But like all in all, we're supposed to have hair there.
Yeah. So that's kind of weird when people are like, well, that's dirty. And I'm like, but like, does that make men dirty then?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, why are women only the dirty ones? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I can understand if they don't like wear deodorant. And I'm, again, not body shaming people if they like their own musk. I I can't do lack of deodorant. Even if I like have hair, I'm putting like I don't care if I cake this. I don't care if you see it like rolling out of my armpits. I don't want to be stinky, but I sweat a lot too.
Yeah, me too. Like, I don't know. I always have to wear deodorant.
Yeah. I carry some with me. I usually apply it at least twice a day.
Mm-hmm.
And in the summer, 3 to 4 times.
Oh yeah, I can see that because I sweat a lot too.
Yeah. People look at me like I'm crazy. Like, what are you doing? I can remember in high school, I would pull it out in class and put it on, and people would be like, I'm like, man, you don't know. You don't know. You apparently don't have this struggle, so you're fortunate.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Now, whenever you kind of got into figuring out your name, kind of what you wanted to do, kind of where you wanted to be within the industry, how did you decide? Like, I know you started out with, oh, I'm going to find this submissive, kind of interact with them, and then it turned into like the job. So,
Yeah.
how did you get into it to begin with? What made you want to get into sex work?
So, I started pretty young. Like I started just talking to people and like finding different submissives on like Kick and like Snapchat. Like when Kick was like a huge thing. That's how I found my first sub too.
Mm-hmm.
Was on, and then funny years later I found him on FetLife. But yeah. So that was a big thing for me too. I made a FetLife early on, but I don't know, like I think I really decided that this was like well, I mean, I decided to go more mainstream when I was kind of like scouted out by like an agent. I mean, he's more of like a content creator, and then he had like his own agency for a short time,
Right.
and that's how I started doing like mainstream porn.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Anyway.
Now, tell me about your interest yourself. Like, what do you like? Do you have like any fetish? Do you have any kind of content you prefer over everything else?
I mean, I really love doing my femdom content. Like that's pretty fun having like different submissives because also they're just really nice. Like I've noticed that like subs they care about me and my well-being like a lot more than like some dominant man would, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's also a reason why I love my subs. So yeah.
What kind of dom work do you prefer? Are you like the naturing dom? Are you more into like the I don't want to say more disciplinary, but kind of like the stronger hand? Where do you fall?
I feel like I'm kind of in the middle, and I'll say that because um like I'm super nice. I'm always like, you know, if you if you don't want me to do anything, like obviously I always ask throughout, and I'm super nice, even though
Right, because
some of
it's
them,
consent. We're
yeah,
huge on consent.
even though some of them don't want it to be entirely consensual, you know what I'm saying? Like they
Right,
have like,
right.
I still
Like
check
the
anyway.
CNC kind of more. I want you to be more forceful at this time. But
Yeah.
I found the majority of people that are truly into CNC are big on communication. So you can talk to them, be like, is this what you like? Do we need to take a break? Is this like, where are you mentally? Any good Dom is going to check on their submissive.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
if someone doesn't, it's abuse. I don't care what anyone says. You can be the roughest Dom in the world. I don't care if you're knocking somebody's fucking teeth out, you know, suffocating the fuck out of them until they're gasping for air. It's different if it's a consensual, controlled environment. They're asking for it, you're accommodating, and you're checking on them. The difference, well, I've always said that the difference in BDSM and abuse is consent.
Yeah, yeah,
Because some
that
people
is
are really rough. Some
They
people
are
do it,
like, and like
but not some.
I've done it so rough. I spanked this guy so hard. I thought the skin on my hands were gonna rip. Like,
Yeah.
you know, but I was still asking, like, even in between.
Right. Yes. And that's what you do. That's proper care. I'm proud of you.
Mhm.
I'm proud of you. So I'm a
Thanks.
big advocate for checking throughout, checking before, giving this disclosure, and then throughout checking, and then afterward doing aftercare. So tell me how you feel about aftercare.
Me, like, I somewhat like aftercare. Like sometimes I don't feel like I'm a super cuddly person, but like no matter what, I'll be there for them. Like,
Right, right. And not everyone likes to cuddle for aftercare. I
yeah,
found that a lot of people do best with kind of checking in. How was it for you? What did you like? What didn't you like? And that doesn't ruin the mood. Submissives, it doesn't ruin the mood for you to be like, give us feedback. That helps. It also helps the
yeah,
dynamics of the relationship for growth, right?
hmm,
Yeah, yeah. So I'm big on communication though. Like I
yeah,
want to know all of it.
yeah. Same here. Mhm.
So I seen that you do paid
Mhm.
bookings.
I
So
do.
have you worked with any major companies or with any companies that are trying to become major? How did you feel about it? And
I
what did
did.
the process look like for
I did. So like at first, like my agent would deal with most of it, but now I self book.
you?
So
Okay.
now I do everything myself. So like in the beginning, he would just like write out like a call sheet for me, which
Mm-hmm.
I kind of do that for myself too, so I remember. So I'll like just write in my notes like my whole call sheet for the month.
Right.
Um, but yeah, um, damn, I forgot my train of thought.
I
Oh
do that.
yeah, and then and then um, and then I do it myself by I just reach out to people now
Mm-hmm.
and message them
Mm-hmm.
to set things up. Um,
So whenever you're reaching out, what I guess platforms do you use? I know a lot of performers do use Twitter because it
yeah.
does have a limited, but it's more open and I guess it feels more free than the other sites.
Yeah, definitely. Like I can actually post like my clips on there.
Yeah,
And like I do on FetLife too, but like I do way better on Twitter,
yeah.
if
I
anything.
found
Like
that to be pretty consistent throughout too.
mhm.
Now, whenever someone is reaching out to you for some kind of paid booking, do you prefer them to reach out on Twitter or do you have like email? Like, how do you like for them to reach out?
I mean, I have Twitter and email. Like I don't really mind either. I just get less emails than I
Right,
do DMs. So
right,
like I'll probably see an email faster,
right, right.
you know.
Tons of traffic. Listen, my Twitter
Mhm.
DMs look like a dumpster fire. So I can imagine yours probably look similar.
Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, especially when I don't have a DM feed like in my bio, then they think it's a free for all.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not just here for funsies, even though it is really fun, but
Yeah.
you know.
Well, just because you're good at something doesn't mean you should do it for free. It means you should charge double.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like
Not everybody believes that, but I do. I'm a firm believer. Like
it's true. That's
it's
how you
it's
make a
great
lot
if
of
you're
money.
providing a service and you're helping people, but also we got to pay our bills.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
don't understand that. Like they expect me to be available all the time, but then they expect free shit from me and I'm like, what do you think I do all day?
Yeah.
Just like people for free.
I usually use whenever somebody is like, "Well, I thought
Mhm.
this was free." Do you go to Walmart and purchase something and tell them, "Oh, I thought this was free," or do you go out to dinner and expect someone, the waitress or someone else, to pick up your tab? Like,
Yeah.
no, you don't walk into
Yeah,
people's business
exactly.
and be like, I'm here for all the free shit. And I expect everything to be all the free shit. They do that to us. I'm like, well, if you want free shit, go to my Pornhub or go to my feed because there's free shit there. Some people have free accounts, certain, for advertisement. But I mean, overall, if you're curious if someone has those, the proper thing to do is ask, hey, do you have this? Not, oh, give me all that shit for free. Show me that ass.
Yeah, I hate that. Or they'll just message me being like, hey, like, do you want to suck my dick? I'm like, why do you think that's the proper way to ask someone? Even though I'm clearly a sex worker, why do you think that's the proper way to like get a woman to respond?
Yeah. And that reminds me of like whenever people talk hella shit about people that are very promiscuous. They're like, oh, they'll fuck anybody. And then they don't fuck them and they're so offended. They're like, oh, that ridiculous whore. Just because someone likes something doesn't mean they like it with everyone.
Yeah, exactly. And like people think that I have sex like every day, like multiple times a day. And I'm like, no, I don't actually. I don't have as much sex as you think I do. You know? Like,
it reminds me of the unrealistic expectations they have for anyone in the industry. Oh my. So I don't know if you've experienced this. You probably have. I've had several people reach out to me and be like, will you be my dom? And I'm like, well, there's an applications process. Once that's completed, if we're compatible, then we'll see where it goes. Like, even for online shit, I like compatibility because if I don't love what I'm doing, then I don't need to fucking be there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real. If I don't enjoy myself, I'm not gonna put myself in a position to sabotage what I've been working for, which is loving my work. So people message and they're like, I want to be your submissive. And then later on, they're like, well, what are you wearing? Clothes. What the fuck do you think I'm wearing? And then they're like, are you wearing latex? No, I'm out farming right now. I have
like
Doc Martens, pants, and some kind of shirt on. Probably a tank top because I'm usually like, this is rare for me. I'm usually wearing a tank top. Like, no, I'm not wearing latex or leather right now. And they're like, you're not a real dog.
I'm like, so we're in that like all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's what they expect.
It would be, I guess, less annoying if it was only one person. And you could be like shocked. Be like, that person really thought that we wear that shit all the time. But whenever it gets consistent and you have like 10, 15, 20 people or once a month, somebody reach out and be like, well, you're not a real dom. You're not wearing leather or latex all the time.
I'm like, it takes way more than that. It takes way more than just clothing.
Yes. Yes. And it can be a lifestyle. Like people don't realize whenever I do farm work and farm shit, I have submissives that do chores.
Oh,
like
nice.
It's one of those things, like they enjoy doing that shit. I even have some farmer submissives that are like, I love doing that work. And for it being something that you enjoy and I get to serve you too, like that's fucking heaven for them. Right?
I know. Yeah.
What do you expect me to wear when I'm farming? A bikini to get eaten by bugs?
Yes. That's what you're saying.
It all goes back to they don't understand where fantasy ends and reality begins.
Yeah, because I don't know, people just they take it too seriously. They take parasocial relationships too seriously.
Yeah. And it's like they want you to be their version of you all the time. It doesn't mean like if you're wearing something different or you're doing something different that you're like wearing a mask or some shit. It's kind of like whenever you're doing different jobs, you don't wear the same outfit whenever you are washing dishes and whenever you're scrubbing something outside. like you're gonna wear different things. It's like a uniform, right? You're wearing different stuff as you're doing different things. The same as for if you're doing outside work. Like if you're gardening, you know, bugs could be out there. You don't want bugs biting the fuck up. I actually got bit by multiple bugs and I had long sleeves on. So it's like I feel like too many people feed into just the fantasy and they don't understand that we're normal people with normal functions too. Like,
I know.
do you get that a lot?
Yeah, which I guess like it's cool that OnlyFans is coming out with like their own series, you know, which OnlyFans isn't like the greatest platform, but I don't know, I
Dumpster
feel
fire over there too.
yeah.
I just don't like the way that they take advantage of models and use them.
I
I
know.
don't like
And then they have Riley Reid, of course, as like the first episode, which I was like a big fan of her until like I heard a certain song she did, saying some words, you know.
Yeah, I remember that. I was a very big advocate too. I still love Riley. I think she's one of those
Mhm.
quirky, adorable. I guess that's the biggest things I see her as.
Yeah, not like
She's very quirky. And but I'm very odd. I'm a very weird person.
well,
I
she
lean
like
towards
I'm really into girls like her. You
same.
know,
I like
besides the
natural
problem.
bodies too.
Yeah.
All the natural. I don't care. I love all the natural. Now I like all body types. I'm more into hips and ass though. I'm gonna say if you got hips and ass, I don't care if you got tits or not. But I can appreciate some good tits too. But I go to the hips and ass first.
Yeah, I love boobs too because like I have a huge mommy kink too. So,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah.
Nice.
And I
Nice.
was obsessed with my best friend's boobs. So, well, before she moved for college. But
Oh, that's sad.
yeah, I used to make content with her too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that
So,
makes it more difficult.
hmm
Yeah.
hmm
So I wanted to talk to you about that next. Whenever you're coming to making content, how do you choose who you're making it with?
so I kind of choose like by, because like it isn't necessarily even what I think will do like the most like well for me because I also really want to add like more diversity to
Right.
my content.
I'm the
Like,
same.
because like some people are just focused on like what everyone else wants, but I kind of want to do both,
Right.
you
Right.
know. So when I choose, it's kind of like, well, what's gonna do kind of well, but also do I get along with this person?
Yeah.
Like, are they chill like in our messages? You know.
Right. Right.
So I kind of choose that way. I don't even choose based on following because like even with my following, I collabed with someone and they were really small and then my following doubled
Yeah.
because of
Yeah.
and so also
And
I
I think
don't
that
think
has a lot to do with chemistry, right?
yeah.
So I found that especially whenever it comes to even if you just met someone, sometimes your chemistry is just like off fucking charts,
Mhm.
you know? And I found that if you have better chemistry and people see that you enjoy yourself more,
Yeah.
everyone is enjoying themselves more. I found that people enjoy that because I
Yeah.
mean, you're enjoying yourself, so it relays on camera. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like my stuff like started blowing up a lot more because of that, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like we have a genuine friendship too.
Yeah.
Um because we talked like on and off for like a year before we even like collabed, me and my
Right.
friend was. um so so yeah, I think
And
that helped a lot.
yeah. Now, with your content, do you have like a sex that you prefer, or do you like to do male collabs and female collabs? Do you like, is there any kind of collabs you don't like?
Probably not. I mean, I think I like most of them, even like the extreme ones.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because but yeah, I like most of them. I mean, I think some doms like go too far, I guess, but I think that's also because like I'm not entirely like
Yeah.
submissive.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
think that that's like
And
the
if
only
you're a
thing that
switch, sometimes it's kind of harder to find that middle ground. Because I mean, with a switch, with you being a switch, you have different days where you feel different things. And some days you might be okay with it. Other days you're like, nah, bitch, fuck off.
real like some days like someone will try to call me a bitch and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Like I don't like I mean, I guess I don't like certain like degrading as much.
Right.
And I think
Understandable.
probably why.
Understandable. And I mean, different things can be triggering for different people too, which a lot of people don't talk about. I am completely upfront. Like you ask me kind of what I like, what I don't like, I'm going to be upfront with you. I'm going to be like, this is a button. You need to press it if we want certain things to happen. This is the
Mhm.
button you don't press unless you want me to chop your balls off. Like,
I mean, I like when people are like that though.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I come across as very offensive, I guess. I'm
Oh.
not for everyone, but I'm okay with that.
I mean, that's good because it's like I don't know, I don't want to be for everyone.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. Same. Plus, I don't like people wasting my time.
mhm.
You
Yeah,
know,
same.
I'm one of those people. And it's why I try to appreciate everyone else's time. Like I don't try to lag shit. Like today we had some technical difficulties. I reached out. I was like, I'm so sorry. My Windows update is being ridiculous. So it might take a few minutes. And then of course we had some issues with the signing of the document. So like it's understandable that
Mhm.
electronic issues happen. But I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not going to be one of those people that's like, oh, let's have a podcast here at this time and then just not communicate and not show up. How
Yeah.
shitty.
I know a lot of people do that.
I
And I'm like, I
know.
try to at least communicate, like if I'm gonna be late or
Yeah, I mean,
something.
even if you just don't want to do it anymore, like
Mhm.
reach out and be like, you know what? Maybe I got some anxiety. Maybe I got this going on. Family showed up. I didn't know that people were going to show up at my house. Can we reschedule? Or be like, you know what? I don't think I want to do it anymore. And that's okay too. But it saves everybody time. And
Yeah,
anybody
exactly.
that gets upset with you communicating, they're not really that professional anyway.
Mhm. And like
And it's business.
I don't know, I've had like some huge companies be mad at me like about like that kind of thing and I'm like, why? Who
Yeah.
should care about, you know, the well-being of your models? And like if they don't want to
Yes.
answer certain things. Cause like I had a booking set up and like, you know, it was with a big company, but I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't told everything
Right.
beforehand. Like I wasn't like I didn't know how extreme it was actually going to be till I
Right.
got there and they laid it all down, you know. So I think that was kind of shitty that I wasn't told everything and then
Yeah,
when I got there,
expected. Yeah.
mhm.
Like
And it's
that's
fun.
a safety hazard on multiple levels.
Mhm. It is, but I don't know. I feel like
I
they're just
think some
getting
people do that on purpose. No, not everyone does, but I
I
feel
think
like it's a manipulation tactic.
I think they did do it on purpose because
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
with the company that it is, like they have a lot of people canceling last minute anyway, just because of how extreme it is. Um,
So they don't include information so that when people show up, they're like, well, I don't really want to do that. I'm not really okay with it, but I'm already here and I want to get paid.
yeah.
That's how they put people on the spot. And that's shitty because that's how
Hmm.
you can cost someone their career. Like mentally and physically, they literally feel violated.
Yeah,
That's
because
terrible.
there's literally like footage of me out there like sobbing and talking about like my trauma because it's like trauma porn. Yeah, and I didn't realize how big of a thing that was.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there are so many people that get into that. Actually, it was, I think it was last year. I had someone approach me and ask me if I would do, it was a couple, what was it? It was whenever I first started doing actual porn and I wasn't just doing fetish work. That wasn't a year. That was right before COVID. Right before COVID hit. So someone reached out and they were like, I want to book a session. I was like, cool. This was online. This wasn't in real life. It was an online session. And right up at the last moment, he's like, oh, can you do this? And he had a list of things. And one of the things that was in the list, he said, I need you to get on your knees and cry. And I was like, no, you didn't ask any of that beforehand. He's like, well, it's not a big deal. I was like, you don't know if it's a fucking big deal because you don't know me, bitch.
Exactly. And it's like, if it's not a big deal, you should have asked me before.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, you can have your money back and you can go fuck yourself.
Honestly, I wouldn't even have given him his money back. Like, I'm that type of person. Like, I don't scam people out of their money, but also, like,
well, the way I do it is they pay a deposit and then 30 minutes prior, I require all of the money, all of it paid up. Well, if that kind of shit goes down, I will give their money back, but they don't get the deposit back because the deposit is mine for my time that you fucking wasted. The rest of the money is for the effort that I put in for the actual session. So it goes down to if they wanted something specific, they should have asked for it to begin with and not try and manipulate, because that probably happened to that guy. He booked several sessions. He got in the session. He got in the mood for certain things. He asked for it and they were like, nah, fuck you. And then he lost his money and he's like, oh, well, next time I'm going to make sure I get what I want. That's not how you get what you want, bitch. And there's plenty of people out there that don't have that kind of trauma or that do offer that service. And all you have to do is ask for it.
Like me, I do. Like, I'd probably do something like that, but only if someone asked me prior, beforehand, like, to paying and everything. Yeah.
So you can prep yourself and charge accordingly. Because at the end of the day, it is adult acting. You're getting paid for your experience. You're getting paid for what you provide. You're getting paid for your time. And if someone doesn't tell you they want that up front, then you can't charge properly for one, and you can't prepare yourself properly for the session either.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to come in and be like expecting a regular spanking session. Say they purchase it in real life time and they wanted a spanking session, and you were assuming, you know, that they wanted light stuff and whatever. So you guys are working together and all of a sudden they jerk out a fucking cane and start beating the fuck out of you.
Yeah. Like, oh my God, like this one experience with the sub, like in person, like it was like a CBT type of thing. Like, he wanted me to like kick him in the balls and everything, which I love doing those kinds of sessions. Like, they're not all the time because it's so extreme, but like I love doing it when I can. And it was surprising because this guy is like 20. So I feel like he's so young to be into all that. But so like that was surprising that he was so young and he's like really into like ball busting. But anyway, the thing that was weird was then he decided to grab me super hard. He decided to grab my boobs super hard and I had bruising, and I'm like, how is that being a submissive?
Yeah, and how is that giving consent?
Yeah, exactly. It did not. So.
And then, you know, some people would do that as a form of manipulation too. They're like, well, if this person is offering this and I give a reaction that's going to make them do something more, maybe something that they don't offer. I seen that kind of a manipulation tactic with some subs, some brattier subs,
to make
whenever they're, so I had one that was like, we were doing face sitting, and it's one of the reason I only offer face sitting for select submissives. I don't offer it to everyone now. And I usually have something that I'm going to knock the fuck out of you if you do something that you're not supposed to be doing.
Same.
The submissive served me for years, and all of a sudden, whenever I am sitting on his face, he decides that he wants to try to move my panties with his mouth. And I just happen to have my wooden spoon because I always got something in my hand anyway. And I mollywalled the fuck out of him. He ended up with bruised ribs. Like, it was bad. And I was like, bitch, you deserved every bit of that.
Because he didn't ask.
Yeah.
Well, like, I wonder if that's something he wanted, like the punishment after. I don't know.
No, he almost cried.
Oh, good.
Yeah, he almost cried. But at the end of the day, if you're not trying to violate me, we're going to have an amazing experience. And it's true with most doms. But if you do something that is violating a boundary that was not previously discussed, and it puts them in a situation where they feel like they have to defend themselves, you shouldn't be upset because they have to defend themselves. And on the fly side, if you want that end goal of someone beating the shit out of you, say that to them. Because then they're going to be able to be prepared so they can offer you what you need, not you having to violate them. Because at the end of the day, if you're not doing what you need to do to communicate effectively, you're going to lose that relationship.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of like what happened. But I don't know. I actually ended up seeing that same sub again. Like, so dumb of me, but I did. And I think he got what he wanted because I beat the shit out of him, like consensually, of course. But
yeah, did he later on admit to that's what he wanted?
No, he never did. And then one day he wanted me to shit in his mouth, and like that's not usually something that I do. But I was like, okay, if you pay me extra, I guess, like I'll do it. And then he chickened out, and then ghosted me, and didn't even like tell me he was gonna miss the session. So then he messages me again. And he's like, well, I'm sorry, like I chickened out. Can I see you again? And I was like, no.
Yeah.
I blocked him.
Yeah.
So.
And again, it all goes back to people appreciating time. We're adults. We can communicate. And if you're not okay with something, reach out. Anybody that is professional and human should understand that there's a lot of shit that goes on. Like mentally, physically, emotionally, there's a lot of shit that goes on. So if you have this relationship with your dom too, you should be able to communicate. If you can't communicate, then there's something fucking wrong.
Yeah, because if he couldn't make it, I would have been like, okay. But like I waited around.
Yeah, and that's a waste of time. You could have been doing something else.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, whether it was for self-care or for work. Like, ghosting isn't going to pay your fucking bills.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, no, that's a fucking hard limit for me. I don't let anybody. I ain't about it. I had this one submissive. He served online for a little while. It was like 6 months. And then he applied for in-person. And I don't currently have a dungeon. So I use hotel rooms. So whenever I show up, the session was 40 minutes. I will only do local 40 minutes in my area. Other than that, they have to pay fly me to you fees because I'm not trying to drive hours and hours. Now, if I'm already there, obviously, I'm not going to charge fly me to you whenever I do touring because I already have bookings there. So he's like, yeah, I'll definitely come to you. He paid for the session, paid for everything. Everything was paid up front. I will not book without that. Again, it's one of those, I'm not going to drive. I'm definitely not paying for a fucking room fee for somebody to fucking ghost. So the room fee, the deposit, everything is paid. I show up. I'm sitting there getting all my tools out. I'm completely ready. And I always take a shower before and I always take a shower after. I'm really, really weird.
Like, yeah, same. I'm the same way.
I know not everyone does, but I do. I like to be Now, it's different if somebody like purchases me being nasty and sweaty and gritty, but you got to know what you're getting because again, I sweat like a fucking racehorse. It's gonna be a mess. so, so I always tell everyone ahead of time. It gets messy. I'm very oily, very sweaty person. So I show up, have everything laid out. I'm ready for the session. He says, I'm 20 minutes out. I'll be there in just a minute. He never shows up.
Oh my God. But like he paid for it. So I'm like, why are you wasting your money?
And I know where he was. Like he sent me a screenshot of him on the road, like driving in MapQuest. So, or it was Google. So he took a screenshot, showed me where he was in the road, everything. Cause you know how it has a little trail and emblem for your car. So anyway, says, I'll be there in 20 minutes. Sends me a screenshot. He's almost there. And then 30 minutes later, I'm like, this is kind of weird. Maybe sitting in the parking lot. I'll give it 2 more minutes. Waited 40 minutes. I was like, where are you? He never replied back. Then I waited a couple minutes. Right. I waited a couple minutes. Yeah. And then I replied again. Motherfucker is ghost. Now, I had talked to him literally every day. He had served for 6 months online. So it wasn't like he's just... Yeah. But I've had so many people just chicken the fuck out and ghost. And that's even after everything is paid. I had one person reach back out and be like, can I have my money back since I didn't show?
So I get no money for my time wasted? Like,
yeah, I was like, no, fuck you.
Yeah. I know, I hate that.
Like, it's ridiculous. Like, I would be more inclined to be like, I could use this for your next session whenever you want to come in. Or if it's one of those situations like, oh, I just had a family emergency, or oh, I came down with something, whatever, I will return a portion, but I'm not returning the deposit because I got a lot of shit going on. I had time that I could have been doing something else that pays for my time, and it pays for all the other things that they don't see. Gas expenses, snacks, whatever else I gotta get. Yeah, because those things, those are overhead, right? Whenever you pay for something for a session, that's overhead. If I bought gloves for the session, if I did this, any kind of tools or materials I needed that I didn't already have, I got to pay for those. I got to pay for the cleaning products for all of my tools. Like, they don't get to see all that shit.
Yeah, they don't know the money that we put into everything.
Yeah. So I was like, no, fuck no. And ghosting happens a lot more frequently than people think. I've had so many people pay in full and not show up. Does that shit happen to you?
Yeah, and it's like, well, free money, I guess, but also I don't want to wait around.
Yeah. And if you have a money kink, that's cool. I'm cool with that. I got a money kink.
Yes.
I'm all about it. I'm all about it. But at the end of the day, if you communicate, it can be a working relationship and not a one-time thing where you're just, I don't even know where the fuck they go after that because I block them all. So I don't ever talk to them again. And then if they reach out to me later with another account, I'm like, I don't even open the message or reply back. I literally just block them.
Oh my God. That's why I stopped posting ads like online. So like now I just post them on like Twitter and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I was just getting time wasters like texting my number all the time. Like I had a separate number obviously, but like still I would just get like time wasters.
Yeah.
But it seems like,
and they think it's acceptable. And you know, some of them get off on that.
They do. That's why I'm like, you gotta pay my DM fee. You know.
I give them a couple lines of interaction, and then I'm like, well, if you want to discuss, like, say someone's purchasing a custom, I'll give them a rough rundown. Okay, for what you want, it's going to be $90. It's going to be $160. It's going to be $50. And then I will be like, these are my cash methods or whatever money method I'm using. And then if you want to speak more about it in depth, send the money. And a lot of them are like, no, if we're not going to talk about it, I'm not sending the money. And I was like, well, then we're not fucking talking about it. So fuck off.
Exactly. I'm like, I think I seem legit enough, like from all the work that I've done now.
Yeah.
That like sometimes it's surprising to me, you know.
That people still come with a fucking handout. And I'm like, I understand those people that don't want to pay for it. Oh, well, I want this, but I don't want to pay for it. Then go find you a dominant girlfriend.
No, for real, like there's so many online, like I don't know.
Go find
I'm
you
like,
a switch that can do both, because obviously that's what you want. You want a dominant girlfriend for whenever you want those dominant moments. You want a submissive girlfriend when you want those submissive moments. So go date and find someone like that.
Yeah.
Stop expecting free work from someone that is a professional. I feel like it's very insulting and very irresponsible because, again, they don't go to these other places expecting free shit.
Exactly. It's just with us because they don't respect sex workers. I mean, they respect male sex workers more, but still.
They think we do it just as like a hobby, as a pastime.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm a little pissed because why is Girthmaster in Rolling Stones but yet we're getting like death threats and shit for like even doing what we do. Like we don't get put in Rolling Stones, like
no. And it all goes back to everything in the US being patriarchy bullshit. Oh, guys are amazing. They can sleep with so many fucking people. They're awesome. They're such a player. Women do it, or non-binary people, and they're like, there's something fucking wrong with them. They're nasty. They sleep around. They're so gross. They probably got everything in the world. They probably got all kinds of diseases. What? The double standard is ridiculous.
It is. I'm like, a lot of the things men give us, you know, they're asymptomatic. Like first, like the men will have something, but they'll be asymptomatic. And they'll give it, you know.
Yeah.
Or I don't even think they even know that men created STDs in the first place because a man decided to fuck an animal and create syphilis. So, yeah.
Yeah. But that's acceptable. Like, whenever I look at the double standard, it just seems so ridiculous. Yeah. I'm two-spirit, non-binary. So, whenever I look at something like that, I'm just like, if I am in the middle, if I don't classify as either, and I'm in the middle, and I struggle so much with society's expectations and all the bullshit that comes along with being female presenting and shit, but I can outwork any of these motherfuckers. But because I look like a female, I look like a problem.
Yeah.
So I'll give you a good example. When I was applying for a vanilla job, I have a degree in criminal justice. I applied for several places. Now I live in rural Kentucky, back in the sticks. There's nothing fucking here. So back when I got my degree, I applied at the local stations to become an officer. And they were like, well, we don't have any openings right now. I was like, yes, you do. I'm here applying because there was an opening. And they're like, well, we don't we can't really employ someone like you. And I was like, what does that mean? Like, are you against my tattoos? Are you against, like, what is the reason? And of course, they were just like, well, we were looking for someone bigger. I was like,
Oh,
oh, so you don't want to tell me that you're sexist. You want to say you want this big burly man. And then I was
mhm.
like, so sexism in Kentucky is bad anyway. But it was it wasn't a week later. I had talked to a guy that I was friends with from high school. He had got the job
Mhm.
that I had applied for. Didn't have a degree, only had a high school diploma, didn't have any experience at all with corrections, but he got a job that I was overqualified
Mhm.
for because he was a man.
Yeah, it's
And he wasn't even a
ridiculous.
big burly man.
No, they just wanted a man to work there in general.
I
So
just
maybe
wanted
it
a
wouldn't
dick.
have
I mean,
mattered if you were like a female with muscles.
one thing,
Mhm.
one thing I feel it was they didn't want to have to explain to someone's wife that they were partnered with me because of the way I look. I understand I'm fucking attractive. I understand that. But I'm not there to fuck them. And I'm
And
gonna tell
plus,
you, most men aren't even fucking attractive anyway.
yeah, yeah,
Nobody wants to fuck them.
that's great. Yeah, that's the crazy thing. Like obviously I'm attracted to men, but then like women, like they're beautiful. They're just
Yeah, yeah. There's something about the feminine form.
I
I'm
don't
even
know. They're just
I'm
like
much more attracted to feminine men
hmm
than I am masculine presenting men. I just
yeah,
love feminine. Part of that's because I'm not very feminine myself.
yeah,
I'm very masculine, but I do wear some feminine stuff, and I'm appealing to the stereotypical man that likes the more feminine looking stuff. But at
yeah,
the end of the day, what I'm attracted to, like what excites me, is women and female presenting. I
yeah.
like I like feminine I like feminine things.
hmm
Um, but I feel like it was partly they didn't want to explain that their man whatever cop was partnered with a female. And two, I can tell you that we have never had a woman in any of the forces in my
There needs to
county.
be.
Yeah,
It needs
yeah.
to be because
I applied.
I was arrested once, and you know, and it was just a big group of men that came
Yeah.
in, and so it wasn't fun. And
And
honestly, it probably would have made me feel better if there was like a female cop there, but
yeah, yeah. I think I was at the time most insulted because I had credentials. I was clean, fresh presenting. Like,
you,
there's no reason I should have been denied that job. So I used to be it used to make me very angry when people were sexist.
well, it's ridiculous because it, and then also like I'm like, why would you not want to add diversity? Why would you? Because when it's just a whole force of white cops, it's easier to point out when someone's a cop.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's
There's more
crazy.
diversity in the state police in Kentucky. I can say that. There's not as many females or female presenting, but there are some. I have seen a couple.
Mm-hmm.
But for the local, nah. And I think in the county over, I did see one personally. There's supposed to be a
Mm-hmm.
couple employed. I've only seen one.
Yeah.
But my point is they take and just like in sex work, take advantage of women because they think they're the lesser vessel. And that shit gets on my nerves. Bible Belt bullshit, it gets on my nerves. So I always go back to equality.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care what the fuck somebody's genitals are. If they do the job, they show up, they do what they're supposed to do, and they do it. If they show up with fucking enthusiasm and they do it fucking amazing, listen, I'm gonna go right back to them every time and praise them. Because the amount of people that don't do their jobs.
Mm-hmm. And a lot that don't.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like a performer showing up, right? You get a collab. You both show up. You're excited to get the content. You're excited to kind of get the vision and get everything flowing. And this other person's just like, yeah, I'm just here.
Yeah.
How's it going to show up on camera?
Exactly. I'm like, you're not going to look excited at all.
Yeah. And then it doesn't look like pleasurable. So whenever people watch it, they're like,
because like I've noticed times even with myself where I'm like, bro, you were not feeling yourself that day.
yeah.
Like, yeah.
And it's okay. It's okay to be like, I'm having a bad mental health day. Mental health is important. It's okay to take a mental health day. Reach out, be like, I'm having a bad mental health day. Can we reschedule? You're more likely to have a rescheduling, not have to apologize later and be like, oh, well, I was having a bad mental health day. Okay.
It's like, we should have said something.
Yeah. You could say something at all. Just be like, I don't really feel like talking right now. I'm having a terrible mental health day. Please reschedule.
Yeah.
And anybody that knows anything about mental health is going to be like, I understand. Take the time you need.
Yeah, exactly.
It's that easy. It's that easy. But again, people are too scared by letting people down in society's expectations that it's like they completely avoid it altogether. And then relationships are hindered because of that. Like, if someone ghosts me or someone does some kind of stupid shit, I don't give them multiple chances. Now, if someone's like, I need to reschedule. Okay, cool. I got other shit that I can do. I got somebody else I can plug. I got, you know, arm work I can do. I got customs I can make, but I need to know so I'm not wasting that time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what I hate because like there was this one time I traveled all the way from Pennsylvania to Brooklyn and then I had like shoots and like collabs planned and I had multiple people cancel on me. So then I was just stuck there for like 2 days with not a lot of work. You know, which thankfully I had a booking that weekend anyway, but still it just sucked like not really doing much for 2 days.
Yeah. Yeah. So next I wanted to talk to you about customs or online work. What is the craziest thing a submissive has asked you for? Like some kind of odd fetish or some kind of crazy act?
Oh, yeah, I got a lot of that.
So I need to know.
this one time, this guy wanted me to pee in cereal and then eat it. So then I did. Huh?
He wanted you to be in it so he could eat it?
No, so I could eat it, like on video. So that was kind of
that one.
So that was kind of crazy. Yeah, that one's probably not even the craziest one, though. It's just one of the crazier ones I've had. I mean, and then this one time someone wanted me to like drink water for like an hour and then like hold it and then pee in a glass and then pour it on myself. And then I did that too.
Desperation. Sounds like desperation kink.
Yeah. Yeah.
I couldn't do that. I would bust. I pee so much.
I know, me too. And like my bladder is so small, so it was like
yeah.
It was really, but I don't know. My ex had a major piss kink, so I was kind of used to all of that. And then someone wanted me to make like like a puke custom,
Mm-hmm.
which I've done that a few times too.
Mm-hmm.
So now I feel like shit doesn't faze me.
Right. Yeah.
After all.
I think I'm pretty much there as well. I can remember this one time. At the time, I offered scat content and piss content, but I didn't offer in-person scat content.
Mm-hmm.
So I would sell customs, and I baked brownies, scat brownies.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I had well, this was after I started doing the in-person scat stuff. I had he was actually well, I'll tell you his job, but not give any more information because I don't do that shit. But he was a truck driver. So he didn't have time to come in person for sessions. So he's like, well, I would really like to have some snack, but I don't have a way to get there. He's like, would you be able to make me brownies? And I'm like, fuck yeah. so I got brownie mix, and of course I had the amazing chocolate ready to put in the brownies. Made them up. They were amazing brownies. I ended up sending them to him, and of course with that kind of stuff you have to be very particular because you have to make sure it's safe. You have to make sure everything stays the way it needs to, especially if it's being consumed.
Yeah.
And what I do is I take this little my brain's just not fucking working. The little thing that you put into the baggies that suck all the air out.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why I can't think of the fucking name. Anyway, I vacuum sealed them with this little thing that I have specifically for that. I use it for like my panties. I don't sell panties anymore, but I did. My panties, my socks, and snacks and stuff like that. So made them, sent them to him, and he kind of fell off the map for a little while. So I was like, well, I don't know what happened to him. Hope he's okay. And then he deleted like all his shit. And then a year later, he comes back and he's like, those were the best brownies of my life.
Oh my god. Like, he had to come back a year later to say that? Damn.
And he's like, so I had to delete all my shit, but I want you to know those are the best brownies.
Oh,
so
he probably got kind of caught. I wonder if he did.
Like, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking he probably got a girlfriend for a while, and he's like, the heat's too hot. I gotta go. But yeah, brownies. Fucking loved them. A lot of people do ask for a lot of weird shit around scat fetish. I shit in a McDonald's cup once and left it under a tree for someone so that they could, so it could heat up and they could drink it like a milkshake.
Ew.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's wild. Because I'm picturing it. Oh my god. Well, I hope you enjoyed the milkshake.
He said it was good. So
okay, well.
Guessing it was kind of like I don't know, peanut butter consistency at that point. But he said it was good. So again, now I don't kink shame. There are kinks that I don't accommodate to, but I don't kink shame. Somebody else is into that, fucking cool. When it comes to the kinks and the fetish that you cater to, is there one that you refuse to cater to?
I feel like I pretty much do all of them besides like age play. Like that makes me uncomfortable, and there's like been a lot.
Yes, and I've noticed a significant increase in age play, especially since it became like mainstream.
Which, there's the argument that it's better for these men to go to sex workers to enact that.
I'm an advocate for that, even though I get people that look at me cross-eyed and think that I'm a terrible person for it. But I would much rather them use an adult that is willing and super consensual than to go harm someone.
Yeah, same here. I definitely believe that too.
And I mean, there are people out here getting canceled for saying stuff like that. Again, I feel like when it comes to fetish and when it comes to this form of therapy, because it's fucking therapy. I don't care what anybody says.
It is
When
definitely.
when it comes to this form of therapy,
Mm-hmm.
just like if you go into a psychologist and they're helping you with exposure therapy, it helps you work through that, and it helps those desires and those drives that you have with someone that is consensual in a controlled environment, so that all parties there get what they need.
Yeah.
It doesn't it prevents, I'm gonna say, teenagers and kids from getting hurt. I
think
feel like
so
it's
too.
better that way. If you have a consensual adult that is putting that time in, you're giving them what they need for their time, and all the parties are satisfied, it was a safe, controlled environment. Like,
Mm-hmm.
why would you not want to offer that opposed to some underage? I don't know if it would be, a teenager, a minor, some kind of minor, some kind of child.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you want them to have that kind of pain when it can be resolved through therapy?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I
Me,
just
I
feel
won't I won't like participate in it, but I definitely support, you know, that
same,
kind of, yeah. I know
same.
some people don't in general, but it's like the same reason why it's better that men can like hire someone to have sex with
As
than,
opposed to raping someone.
yeah, exactly. So I look at it like kind of the same
Yeah,
way.
yeah, same. I feel like if there is a provider of a service, they are, now this is if everyone in the current relationship is communicating, they're completely open,
Mm-hmm.
transparent.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that is a much better environment than someone having the chance or opportunity for something to go wrong and be in a situation where it's not. Like, I don't care what anybody says when it comes to teenagers. Teenagers cannot consent.
Mm-hmm. They
Children
can't.
cannot consent. No one should be taking advantage of those. Now, it's different if it's like, I feel like if it's two kids, like an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old, and they're like experimenting or something, like obviously we don't want that to happen. But if they're two kids like that, that's different than an adult taking advantage of a child.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, if we can help the adult that has these curiosities and desires with an adult that is a surrogate, and that's the way that they can process and kind of grow through that, I feel like that is so much better.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think so too.
I'm huge for therapy. Um, I
Yeah.
am a huge advocate for therapy for everyone, not just like the people that are like so far over the edge that that's their, the court orders them to have therapy.
Yeah,
Like,
because
I feel like
I
it's,
went to therapy too,
yeah,
like plenty of times.
I go to therapy regularly. You know, I have all of my family go to therapy because at the end of the day, if you're learning how to process, you're learning how to grow, you're developing the tools that you need, then you're less likely to do those violent things. You're less likely to do the terrible stuff.
Yeah.
Even though
Oh,
a lot of people think,
get.
oh, well, therapy's not for me. I'm huge advocate.
I
Okay.
could always, but I could always
So,
come back to it.
of course, we can come back later. Well, we can schedule and have you come back because you were super amazing, super awesome, and I loved having you. I also love picking your brain.
Same here. I like hearing about your experiences too, but I also just like hearing other sex workers' experiences in general.
Same.
Like, makes me feel a lot less alone because I
Yes.
don't think people talk about how much mainly doing online work can be really lonely sometimes.
Yes. And mentally taxing.
Very, very taxing. Like,
Yeah.
you know. but I still love it.
Same. I feel like, again, it's kind of therapy for sex workers. I feel like there should be more outlets and more advocates that talk about it more. There should just be more awareness overall. So we will let the amazing Violet Vixen get to her day, but I would like to remind you guys to go have a follow, support the amazing work. Again, offers a ton of stuff. You can go check the bio. Like, she got links over there for you. It's conveniently located for you. Listen, there's no reason to not go check it out. It's at Violet Vixen XXX. And thank you again for being so amazing.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate you.
I appreciate you and your time, because again, time is valuable. It's not replaceable.
Yeah,
thank you guys. Thanks everyone for coming to another episode of Forbidden Depths. We will see you on the next one. Have a wonderful day.
Bye.
Hey, it's Queen Frostbitten again, your host. I just want to remind you that you can follow us on YouTube at Forbidden Depths. That's FORBIDDENDEPTHS. Or over on Twitter at the number 4 BIDDENDPODCAST. Remember to always stay educated, consensual, and safe. We'll see you on the next show.